Hey guys, this is Aaron, and I play Magic way too much. Okay, we're in Emrakul's Corruption, and I've played all but one of these, and I will get one more charge tonight at 1 o'clock. I could have 63 points, but I have 62 instead. What happened is here, they killed two of my werewolves, and I had no creatures. And sometimes I can't switch it here. If you're on the second side of her, it works out. But what I want to show you is the decks I've used and kind of the thinking behind it. And this is actually an update from the last one. And then I might play one challenge here at the end. So just to start over here on the furthest right, that'll make it so. Oh, and right here, we're trying to summon two vampires and cast two or less supports with. That's not what I wanted at all. With Rahi, I'm trying to cast two or less spells and cast two Elderai. And here is the tough one because we're summoning exactly two werewolves and no more. And there is a way around that, but I just couldn't do it this last event. So let's go to Planeswalkers and look at Sorin first. And in the past video, I used Liliana 1. And for Liliana 1, it worked well, but the mana was just too slow. I think it's a +5. You get +3 for black and 1 for each around it. And Liliana 2 doesn't work at all for it because, it doesn't have anything to do with vampires. But here's the deck I'm using, and it's worked. So basically, I have no supports, and that way I'm never in danger of casting too many supports, okay? So my spells, though, are kill creature, discard the first card in their hand, which is essentially a kill creature. This is just a great card. I hope you have it. Kill creature, kill creature. Now I'm gaining a little bit of life here, and vampire, of course. This I kind of think of like tier 1 vampire, tier 1 vampire. This I don't really like this vampire, but I use it because I need to have more in there. I did have 3 vampires in there for a minute, and there were 1 or 2 battles where it was just too close because you got bad draws, And then I put this vampire in just for that reason. One, I can only have 5 spells, so I have to have 5 creatures, but this was the best one I could find. One good thing about using Liliana 1, and that was the reason I used it in the first place, was that I had 3 creatures and 7 spells. It allowed me to do that. That's not what I want to do. I switched it, and it's working actually really well. So here, we're trying to cast 2 Elderai, however you say it. I never pronounce anything right. Elderai. Who cares? And we're also trying to cast no supports. So I have actually no spells. I said that backwards. And so I have no spells in here. We have a vehicle, so we can use a third ability. We are speeding up the hand and getting more loyalty, making sure we have the right cards in our hand. Send creature back. Send creature back. This is just a fantastic card. It should be in most blue decks. It has the thing I like the most about it is that it has 2 counters on it, so that it sticks around. It's not as easily destroyed. And then these are my 2. But if you noticed back here, which I didn't point out and I should have, that's an Eldrazi also. So I have 3 opportunities to get those out. And quick note, and this is actually really important, and there's a big change. One of the main reasons I'm making the video is because things have changed, is that I actually like this because it summons another Eldrazi, but the new one that it summons does not count. Before, and maybe I should update which ones I use, I would just summon this one card, and it would give me 2, and then that would be the end. So I think I am going to change because there has to be a better one than that. But you get the idea, and this one actually is really good because you draw a card. So that's what I'm doing for that one. And then let's go all the way back here to where are we going? To Arlen Cord, and here's the deck we're using. Kill creature, first strike, which is just never bad, although there may be a better spell in there. Speed up hand, good werewolf, using werewolves, so obviously, we're using werewolves, so obviously, this is fantastic. And actually, and this is if I am close to winning, but I have no werewolves on the board and I can't summon anymore. That works out well. And then what a gift. Yesterday or the day before, I got this card, and it is just beautiful. So, but what I kind of want to show is actually, and I'm going to edit this kind of on the fly because I want supports. I can't remember screen, but I'm going to get rid of that and add that. So the trick here, and trick is maybe too strong word, is that if you're using Arlen's, just regular abilities, and this is where I lost my 1 point, and I tried to do it, but it just didn't work, but it should work, and I didn't do it as well. I didn't focus hard enough. But if I get any werewolf out there and I use the third ability, it transforms. Unfortunately, and this is the problem, is that you can't use the third ability if there's no werewolf on the board. So it transforms into Embraced by the Moon, and then we can only use the second ability, which gets the tokens, the 4/2/2 werewolf tokens, which don't count as creatures. Thus, you can summon it a few times and have more creatures out there. Now, in the one I lost on, I put 2 creatures out there. It was just a tough battle. That one that's 8/8 and it gets +4/4 with Berserker came out 2 different times, and it was just a crazy battle. But I actually want to play a battle here and see how it works. But you kind of get the summary of what I'm trying to do. And so if you want to watch a battle continue, and if you don't, then you've got the kind of the key things. But that is a huge difference in that that's kind of how I want to start. Is that other ability where the tokens do not count anymore as creatures. So now I got the supports out there, and I actually try not to cast green, but I'm going to have to a little bit. I'm not even going to destroy that right now. Well, I got to do green again, even though it's not my favorite. And I'm actually going to leave that out there so I can kill bigger and better things. And no red, no green. Let's do a white match. And I actually took the one that was left to right on there. Yeah, they feel so small. I'm going to show you something too here. So with this red match, oh, it's not there anymore. I'll show it. I'll show a different. So let's say, actually, you see this bottom left? If you break something that is left to right like that, it creates more opportunity above than something that's like north-south like that or top to bottom. So just kind of a general heads up that if you're like matching and you don't really see a difference, going left to right is going to actually create one more combination above. So you are going to be more likely to get a cascade, even if it's just one more match 3, okay? Now, I can kind of go into it, but it's just true. I mean, I don't know. I mean, assuming you're in the middle of the board and there's no like wall or whatever that kind of changes things, it makes it just a little bit more likely that you're gonna match something because, well, this might work out really good. So, and this is what I'm trying to show, is that ideally you would get one werewolf out and then use this third ability. Now that werewolf is bigger, of course, and I can use the second ability over and over again. So here I want to match red instead of green because I have this giving me green, and I'm going to match my red. And now there's a few more green on there than red would have been. Okay, so here is the example of what I'm talking about. So here are these match two reds, and I can go left to right. Or if I go north-south, I could go right there. Well, if I go top to bottom here, then at the top, like above that green one that I'm looking at and switching, there's nothing there. So if this, I'm going to put in 3 new gems here. If, let's say, 2 are red in a row and 1 is green, if the bottom 2 are red, then I get a match. But if it's a green at the bottom and then the top 2 are red, I don't get a match, okay? So there's one way to make a match north-south. But going left-right, no, that's not what I wanted to match. There was a match I could make on the left and the match I could make on the right. So there's actually one more match there, assuming everything else is equal. I wish I had better graphics to kind of show things like that. But just kind of a heads up. And that assumes that, like here, I have it again, because I could go there and there. And in this case, the left-right's better because I can match these 2 blacks. And so that's a little different scenario. But if it's exactly the same and there's kind of no potential matches, or they both have kind of one good draw because there's 5 colors, so the odds of getting the right one are 1 in 5, you want to have like 2 spots where 1 in 5 works, or 3 spots where 1 in 5 will match. So 20% of the time, 1 in 5, you will get that little bonus, and that's how you get the cascades. And so I don't know, just kind of a heads up out there. And actually there's 6 colors. I should include the loyalty matches in there, which are definitely important. So I'm still 1 werewolf short here, and that's okay, we'll get something. Well, and this is interesting. Talk about, you see down here on the bottom left, there are really 7 colors. Those don't count in my book because they aren't really out there that often. And now they're going to match my green, and I'm going to lose 2 charges. But I'm also not going to use this second ability right now because right now I have 8 turns to get out another werewolf. I'm going to sacrifice. Actually, no. I could do a match. I can't turn down a match 5. It does hurt me a little bit, but whatever. It just, maybe I should have done that. You guys tell me what you think in the comments. But if I start doing 16 damage to him a turn, I'm done in like 4 turns, maybe 5 turns. And so I have to wait, and we've all been through this. I don't even want to cast that because I really... And I could give him plus 10/10, but again... These challenges are crazy. They make you play not at your peak. So, and now I'm going to start taking, 12 damage a turn. That'll solve some of that. Let's do it in that order. Let's see if it goes. Okay, so I think that was my only match. come on, draw a werewolf. I got 3 in there. And of course the only match is loyalty. And I don't need loyalty. Well, at least the game continues, so I have time to draw that elusive werewolf. And here we go. So at least I could, if it comes down to it, if I have enough loyalty. So if I use 18, and I'll do 18 damage to him, and I'll still have 9 left over to fetch a werewolf. So that, but if I fetch my biggest werewolf, then that won't work. So I have a 2/3 chance of making that work. I think I'm gonna wait on that, because if I used to have all 9 or less casting cost werewolves in there, and now I have 1 that costs more. So I don't want to gamble on that. See, and do you guys go through the same challenges here? Do you guys, it's like, what do you do? It's like, do you kill your own creature? I mean, I haven't had the ability. I guess the last card could have killed my own creature, but it's like, well, talk about killing your own creature. And so now I can't even do that switch, and I have to draw a werewolf. So, I don't even think I can use any of these. I guess I can use the second ability, but that's not a good thing for me to use right now. It's like, especially with the one where you have to win with 10 or less life or 20 or less life. Okay, here we go. So let's get this guy out. I need to match red and green at a furious pace. I want to match red first, because green, hopefully at the start of my turn, will match for me. And there's a pretty good match. And there we go. Okay, so now I'm allowed to win the game. And there's so many times when it's like, what to do. Now, I know he does have that Humble the Brute in his deck. So, okay, I don't want to cast that. I will. If I do this, I'm done in 2 turns as long as he doesn't do Humble the Brute, which is definitely an option. But if he does, then I'm screwed, because I can't use that ability. Here we go. Done. I always check at the end. Okay, I have to do anything. And done. So that is the trickiest of them because of the werewolves. And the way around it you kind of saw. So there you go. I want to show one thing. I always show one extra thing. But the new update is coming out very soon, and that is exciting. And there's going to be 55 new cards, all uncommon and above. And they are all going to be included in these Kaladesh packs. And so what I'm doing, and I kind of recommend you do, is to save Kaladesh packs until it comes out. I've been checking quite often, and there's nothing in the forums as of right now that tells when that's going to happen. But normally they give us the pre-release about a week in advance. Thanks, guys. I hope this helps make your deck. I hope seeing how I do that with the werewolves helps too. Have a good day. Bye.